Let's get real for a second. We're already 30% of the way through 2025. Think about that. Almost a third of the year is gone, gone forever, and I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying it to wake you up. Because here's the deal, you don't have time to waste. You don't have time to keep playing small. Look, we all have dreams, we all have goals, but too many of us are stuck in this trap of waiting, waiting for the perfect time, waiting for motivation to strike, waiting for some external sign to tell us it's okay to go all in. Newsflash, that sign is never coming. It's never coming. You have to make it happen. Maybe the first third of this year didn't go the way you wanted. Maybe you slipped back into old habits, or you let fear take the wheel. Maybe you're sitting here thinking, I've wasted so much time already. What's the point? But I'm telling you right now, that's the wrong question. The point is this: there's still 70% of this year left. That's 70% of your chance to turn things around, to get clear, to focus on what actually matters. And let's talk about what matters. It's not about hustling for the sake of hustling. It's not about proving yourself to the world. It's about showing up for you. It's about doing the things you said you'd do, not because someone's watching, but because you deserve to live the life you actually want. Here's what I know: small, consistent actions create massive change over time. It's not the huge, dramatic efforts that move the needle. It's the tiny, daily decisions that compound. You don't need to overhaul your entire life today. You just need to start. You need to take one step, and then another, and then another. Stop waiting. Start acting. You already know what you need to do. You're just letting excuses get in the way. Excuses like, I'm too busy, or it's too late. Let me tell you something. It's never too late to become who you want to be. But it will always be too late if you keep telling yourself that story. So I want you to ask yourself, what do I want the rest of 2025 to look like? What's the one thing I can do today that will get me closer to that vision? And then I want you to do it. Don't think about it. Don't overanalyze it. Just do it. Because here's the truth. Time is not coming back. You can't rewind the clock. You can't get back the days you spent scrolling or doubting yourself or sitting on the sidelines. But you can make the next 70% of this year count. You can make it matter. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to hear this. You are more capable than you give yourself credit for. You have everything you need inside you right now. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about creating it moment by moment, choice by choice. So stop wasting time. Stop letting your fear or your doubt run the show. Decide right now that the next 70% of this year is going to be different. Decide that you're going to show up for yourself like never before. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Progress is messy, growth is uncomfortable, but if you keep going, if you keep showing up, you will look back at the end of this year and be so damn proud of the person you've become. 30% of 2025 is gone. Let it go. Focus on what's in front of you. The rest of the year is a blank page and you hold the pen. So write something amazing. Let's go. We're already 30% of the way through 2025. That's not just a number, it's a powerful wake-up call. Time is something you can't buy back, no matter how much money or success you achieve. You can't negotiate with it, you can't bribe it to pause, and you can't create more of it. Every minute that's passed is a minute that's gone forever. And that's exactly why you need to pay attention right now. The first third of this year is history. It's behind you. But what about the rest? Are you going to let it slip away just as quietly, or are you going to do something about it? Let's be honest, most of us started this year with big goals. You had plans to get healthier, to start that new project, to make more time for the people and things you love. But somewhere along the way, life got in the way, work demands piled up, old habits crept back in, and it became easier to tell yourself, I'll get back on track tomorrow. Tomorrow turned into next week, next month. And now here you are, 30% in, and it's time for a gut check, because tomorrow isn't guaranteed, and next week is coming whether you're ready or not. Think about it. If you're not where you want to be right now, what's stopping you from making a change today? The truth is, it's not a lack of time. It's how you're using the time you have, the hours you spend scrolling, the conversations that don't serve you, the energy you waste on worry and doubt. Those are the hours you're giving away, hour by hour, day by day. And it's those choices, yes, the small ones, that add up to a life that feels either fulfilling or frustrating. So here's the opportunity. The rest of 2025 is yours to claim. You don't have to be stuck in the patterns of the past. You don't have to carry forward the disappointments of January, February, or March. Today is a reset button, but you have to be willing to press it. You have to be willing to let go of the excuses and the stories you've been telling yourself. Stories like, I'm too busy, or I don't know where to start. Because here's the truth. No one else is going to hand you the roadmap. No one else is going to carve out the time or energy for you. You have to decide that this matters. That asterisk you asterisk matter. This is about taking stock of what's been working and what hasn't. If you've been chasing goals that aren't truly yours, stop. If you've been letting fear or comparison dictate your decisions, stop. The first third of the year is over, and that means you've learned something. Even if you didn't get the results you wanted, you got data, you got feedback, you learned what drains you, what lights you up, and what you want to do differently. Use that, use it as fuel, not as evidence that you're failing. There's a freedom in realizing that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to start moving in the right direction. And that's what this 30% milestone is all about. It's a line in the sand. You can either keep doing what you've always done, or you can decide that the rest of this year is going to be different. Not in a big, sweeping, overwhelming way. In the daily, moment-by-moment choices you make. Because it's those choices that stack up to create the life you want. Think of it like this. If you're driving and you realize you've been going the wrong way for a while, what do? You don't keep going just because you've already put in the miles. You turn around, you find a new route, and that's exactly what this moment is inviting you to do. You don't have to be stuck just because you've been stuck. You don't have to keep heading down the same road that's leading nowhere. You can pivot, you can course correct, but you have to be the one to make that choice. So as you think about the rest of 2025, I want you to get crystal clear on what you want it to look like. Not what other people expect of you, not what you think will impress them, what asterisk you asterisk want, what makes you feel alive, what brings you peace, what challenges you to grow, and then I want you to start showing up for that vision every single day. Because here's what I know, time is going to pass anyway. The rest of this year is going to unfold whether you're intentional about it or not. But if you choose to be intentional, if you choose to take small, consistent steps in the direction of your dreams, you will be amazed at what you can accomplish. You will be amazed at how much progress you can make, even if you're starting late, even if you're starting over. Don't let the fact that 30% of the year is gone be an excuse to coast through the rest. Let it be the reason you get serious. Let it be the motivation you need to take ownership of your time and your life. Because you are not here to just exist. You're here to live fully, to love deeply, to create something that matters, and the only person who can make that happen is you. So take a breath, look at where you are, and then decide the next 70% is going to be different. The next 70% is yours, and it starts today. Every day is a chance to begin again. That's something we all know in theory, but it's easy to forget when we're stuck in the past. It's so tempting to believe that the things we've messed up or the chances we didn't take in the first third of the year are permanent scars on our progress, but that's not true. Every single morning, you have the opportunity to start fresh. You have the chance to decide what story you're going to write today. That's the beauty of life. It doesn't matter how many times you've stumbled. What matters is how many times you get back up and keep moving forward. Think about it. The sun rises whether you're ready for it or not. The world keeps turning, and every single day you wake up is another shot at getting it right. Yet, Most of us waste that opportunity because we're so busy replaying yesterday's mistakes. We're stuck in our heads, going over what we should have done differently or worse, telling ourselves that because we failed yesterday, we're destined to fail again today. That's a lie. It's a trap. And it's one you have the power to break out of. Imagine if you treated today like it was the first day of the rest of your life, because in many ways it is. Today is a blank page. It doesn't care if you messed up 100 times before. It doesn't care if you're scared or if you don't have all the answers. All it asks of you is to show up, to try, to do one thing differently than you did yesterday, because those small shifts, repeated day after day, are what change your life. It's not about rewriting the entire story overnight. It's about picking up the pen and deciding that you're not going to let the past write the next chapter. I get it, it's easy to feel discouraged. It's easy to feel like you've lost momentum, especially if you've spent the last few months coasting. But here's the truth, momentum isn't something you wait for. It's something you create, and you create it by taking action even when you don't feel like it. Even when it's messy and awkward and you're not sure how it's all going to work out. Because action breeds clarity, action fuels confidence, and every time you choose action over fear, you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses. So stop beating yourself up for what you didn't do in the first 30% of the year. Let that go. It's done. What matters is what you're going to do next. Are you going to let another day slip by because you're stuck in your head? Or are you going to show up and do something, however small, that brings you closer to the life you want? Because here's the secret. There's no such thing as wasted time if you're willing to learn from it. Every setback, every missed opportunity is a lesson. And when you start treating your mistakes like stepping stones instead of anchors, you'll find that nothing can hold you back. Look around you. The people who are living lives they love aren't the ones who never mess up. They're the ones who refuse to let a bad day turn into a bad week, or a bad month, or a bad year. They're the ones who get back up, no matter how many times they've fallen. They're the ones who understand that the only difference between who they are today and who they want to be is the choices they make every single day. You have that power too. You have it right now in this moment. So stop waiting for some perfect moment or some big breakthrough to come along and save you. It's not coming. You're the breakthrough. You're the moment you've been waiting for, and you don't need to be perfect to start. You just need to be willing to begin. Today is your chance to choose something better for yourself. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be world-changing. It just has to be different than yesterday. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier to focus on your goals. Maybe it's putting down your phone and actually listening to your loved ones. Maybe it's finally taking the first step on that project that's been calling your name. Whatever it is, do it. Do it for yourself, because you deserve to know what it feels like to live a life that's moving forward, not one that's stuck in regret. Here's what I want you to remember. Every single day is a chance to get back on track. Every single day is a chance to pivot, to start fresh, to reclaim your power. Don't let the fact that you've fallen behind make you believe you can't catch up, because you can. You absolutely can. And it starts with one simple decision to show up today like it's the first day of the rest of your life. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to know exactly where the road leads. You just need to trust yourself enough to take the next step. Because when you do, you'll find that the path becomes clearer with every step you take. And before you know it, you'll be further than you ever imagined possible, not because you waited for the right moment, but because you decided to create it. So don't waste today. Don't waste the rest of this year. Make it count. Start now. The power of small, consistent actions is often overlooked in a world obsessed with overnight success and big, flashy results. But let me tell you, those massive wins you see on the outside, they're built on the quiet, unsexy grind of doing the little things over and over again, even when no one is watching. That's how real transformation happens. Not in the grand gestures or the huge leaps forward, but in the tiny choices you make, day in and day out. Think about a snowball rolling down a hill. It doesn't start out huge, it starts small with just a handful of snow. But as it keeps rolling, it gathers more snow, gets bigger, and eventually turns into something unstoppable. That's exactly how your progress works. It starts with the small things, waking up earlier, putting in 20 minutes of focused work, choosing water over soda, turning your phone off for an hour to think and create. These actions might seem trivial in the moment, but they compound. They build momentum, and over time, they create a life that's unrecognizable from the one you're living now. The mistake most people make is underestimating these small actions. We tell ourselves that if it's not big, it doesn't count, that if we can't do everything perfectly today, we shouldn't even try. That's nonsense. Perfection is a myth that keeps you stuck. Progress is what you're after. And progress happens in tiny, messy steps that add up when you're consistent. Let's get real. Consistency isn't glamorous. It's not always exciting. Some days it's downright boring, but that's the point. The people who achieve incredible things aren't the ones who feel fired up every single day. They're the ones who keep showing up even when they don't feel like it. They're the ones who understand that motivation comes and goes, but habits stick around as long as you keep choosing them. So, what does this actually look like? It's about creating routines that support the person you want to become. It's about building habits that align with your values and your vision. It's about asking yourself every single day, what's one small thing I can do today that will move me closer to my goals? And then doing that thing no matter how small it feels. Because here's the truth. The small actions you take today are the seeds for the massive results you'll see tomorrow. Let's take an example. Let's say you want to get in shape this year. You don't need to run a marathon tomorrow. You don't need to spend 2 hours in the gym every day. What you need to do is show up, go for a 20-minute walk, do 10 push-ups, make a healthier meal choice, and then do it again tomorrow and the day after that. Over time, those tiny steps build strength, discipline, and confidence. That's how change happens one choice at a time. The same goes for your work. If you want to grow your career or your business, stop waiting for the perfect idea or the perfect moment. Start doing the small things that matter. Write that email, make that phone call, spend 15 minutes brainstorming or planning. Those actions might not feel groundbreaking in the moment, but they are the foundation of everything you're building. And let's not forget about your relationships. If you want deeper connections, it's not about grand gestures or big statements. It's about consistently showing up for the people you care about. It's about listening. It's about putting down your phone and being present. It's about the little things you do every day to show someone they matter to you. Because those small acts of kindness, of love, of attention, they build relationships that can weather any storm. Here's the best part. Once you start taking these small actions, they create a feedback loop. You see a little progress, you feel a little better, and that encourages you to keep going. That's the magic of momentum. It starts out slow, but it builds, and the more you keep going, the easier it becomes. Before you know it, those small actions have created something huge, not because you made one big, perfect move, but because you refused to quit. I want you to understand this. You don't need to do it all today. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to do something. One small, consistent thing, and then another and another. Because those small things, the ones that feel almost too easy to matter, are the exact things that will change your life. So stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop telling yourself you need a huge breakthrough to start. You don't. All you need is the willingness to show up today, to take one small step, and to trust that those steps will lead somewhere amazing if you keep going. That's the secret to real, lasting success. That's how you make sure the rest of this year isn't wasted by focusing on what you can do today and then doing it again tomorrow. Keep going, You've got this. We live in a world that loves to glorify the big, shiny moments, the huge wins, the public accolades, the dramatic transformations. But let's be real, those highlights don't happen by accident. They're the result of all the times you kept showing up when no one was watching. All the times you pushed through even though you didn't feel like it. All the times you chose discipline over distraction. That's the real secret to getting what you want out of life. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's what you do behind the scenes that counts the most. Discipline isn't something that just shows up one day and makes your dreams come true. It's a muscle, and you have to train it every single day. That means saying no to the stuff that doesn't serve you, the mindless scrolling, the endless excuses, the temptation to take the easy way out. It means saying yes to the things that challenge you, the things that push you out of your comfort zone, the things that move you closer to who you want to become. I know it's not easy. We're wired to look for shortcuts. Our brains love instant gratification, the quick fix, the immediate reward, but that's not how lasting success is built. You have to be willing to put in the work when it's boring, when it's repetitive, when it feels like nothing's happening. Because it's in those moments that you're actually laying the foundation for everything you're going to achieve. Think about an athlete training for a marathon. Most of the training doesn't look glamorous. It's early mornings, sore muscles, runs that feel endless. But every step they take, every drop of sweat, is building the endurance and the mental toughness they'll need on race day. It's the same for you. Your daily habits, your small acts of discipline, they're building the resilience and the focus that you're going to need when it's time to rise to the occasion. But here's the thing, discipline isn't about punishment. It's not about being hard on yourself or living a life of deprivation. It's about giving yourself the structure and the consistency that allows you to flourish. It's about creating the conditions for success so that when opportunity knocks, you're ready to answer. It's about treating your goals with the respect they deserve. And let's talk about focus for a second, because that's the other half of the equation. In a world full of noise and constant distraction, focus is a superpower. Most people let themselves get pulled in a million directions, reacting to every little thing that pops up. But if you want to create something meaningful, if you want to make the rest of this year count, you need to get crystal clear on what actually matters to you. You need to cut out the clutter, the things that steal your energy without giving you anything back. That means setting boundaries. It means turning off your notifications, carving out time for deep work, and protecting that time like your life depends on it, because in a way, it does. The life you want is on the other side of the distractions you're willing to give up. And the only person who can make that choice is you. You see, discipline and focus go hand in hand. When you're disciplined about how you spend your time and energy, you create the space to focus on what matters. And when you're focused, it becomes easier to stay disciplined because you're not getting pulled in 100 directions. That's how you build momentum. That's how you go from feeling stuck and scattered to feeling like you're actually moving forward. I want you to think about where you're putting your time and attention right now. Are you investing in the things that matter, or are you just reacting to whatever's in front of you? Because here's the truth, you can't do everything. You have to choose, and if you don't choose with intention, life will choose for you and it'll choose things that leave you feeling empty and frustrated. So as you look at the rest of 2025, I want you to get really clear on this. What are you willing to let go of? What are you willing to stop doing so you can start doing what actually matters? Because that's what discipline and focus are really about, making choices. Choices that reflect your values, choices that honor your dreams. Choices that say, I'm not going to waste another day on things that don't matter to me. And remember, it's not about being perfect. You're going to slip up. You're going to have days when you lose focus, when discipline feels impossible. That's okay. It doesn't mean you've failed. It just means you're human. What matters is that you keep coming back to what you want, that you keep reminding yourself why you started, and that you don't let the setbacks become permanent. Discipline and focus aren't one-time decisions, they're daily practices. They're about showing up for yourself over and over again, even when it's hard. And when you do that day after day, something incredible happens. You start to trust yourself more. You start to believe that you're capable of more. And you start to see that the life you've been dreaming of isn't as far away as you thought. So don't get distracted by the noise. Don't let yourself be seduced by quick fixes or shortcuts. The real magic is in the small, consistent efforts, in the discipline to keep going, and the focus to know where you're going. That's how you make the rest of this year and the rest of your life count. It starts with you. It starts right now. There's something incredibly powerful about reclaiming your time and energy. We spend so much of our lives giving away our focus to things that don't serve us. Endless scrolling, worrying about what other people think, getting caught up in drama that doesn't move us forward. We're bombarded with notifications and demands for our attention, and it's so easy to fall into the trap of thinking that everything is urgent, that every distraction needs our response, but it doesn't. And until you start being intentional about what you allow into your life, you're going to keep feeling overwhelmed and stuck. Let's be honest here. Most of what's demanding your attention doesn't deserve it. Most of the noise isn't actually helping you grow. It's just noise static that's drowning out the clarity you need to live the life you want. You have to be willing to take a step back and really ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Is this moving me closer to my goals, or is it just another thing keeping me busy for no good reason? When you start being selective about what you give your attention to, you take back your power. You stop letting the world tell you what to care about. You start deciding for yourself, and that's where the real magic begins, because you're no longer reacting to everything that comes your way. You're choosing. You're acting from a place of purpose and intention, not just habit and convenience. This is something that takes practice. It's not easy to admit that you've been wasting time, or that you've been letting other people's agendas dictate your life. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. You realize how much of your energy has been leaking out in 100 tiny ways, and how different your life could be if you channeled that energy into what truly matters. This is about more than just productivity. It's about your peace of mind. When you're constantly pulled in a million directions, you're not just wasting time, you're robbing yourself of clarity, of focus, of the joy that comes from being fully present. And let me tell you, there is nothing more powerful than a mind that's clear and a heart that's calm. When you're not weighed down by the noise, you can hear your own voice. You can see the path forward. You can trust yourself to make decisions that align with who you really are. So how do you start? You start by setting boundaries. You decide what you're going to say yes to, and just as importantly, what you're going to say no to. You start protecting your time like it's the most precious resource you have, because it is. You start treating your attention like gold, because what you focus on grows, and you stop apologizing for it. You stop feeling guilty for putting yourself and your dreams first. I know that's hard. We're taught to be people pleasers. We're taught to keep everyone else happy, to be available at all times, to never rock the boat. But let me ask you this, who's taking care of you while you're busy taking care of everyone else? Who's making sure you're growing, you're healing, you're moving toward the life you actually want? That's your job. That's your responsibility, and it starts with being ruthless about what you allow in. Letting go of the noise doesn't mean you stop caring about people or the world around you. It means you start caring about what actually matters. It means you start prioritizing the things that light you up and move you forward. It means you stop pouring your energy into things that don't give anything back. Here's the truth: you only have so much bandwidth. You only have so many hours in a day. If you're not intentional about how you spend them, you're going to wake up one day and wonder where all that time went. You're going to wonder why you're still stuck in the same place, chasing the same goals that never seem to get any closer. But when you start taking ownership of your time and energy, everything changes. You feel lighter, clearer, more powerful, because you're no longer living on autopilot, you're living on purpose. So let's get practical. Take a look at how you're spending your days. What are you saying yes to that doesn't align with where you want to go? What can you cut out or delegate or let go of completely? What's been draining you that you've been tolerating because it's easier than saying no? It's time to clean house. It's time to make room for the things that actually matter. And remember, this isn't a one-time fix. It's a daily practice. You have to keep coming back to it. You have to keep checking in with yourself because the world will always try to pull you off course. But the more you practice this, the easier it gets. You start to trust yourself more. You start to see how much power you really have. And you start to realize that you don't have to do it all, you just have to do what matters. At the end of the day, this is about living a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. It's about making sure that your energy and your time are going toward the things that fill you up, not the things that drain you. So stop giving your power away to things that don't deserve it. Stop letting the noise run your life. Take back control. Protect your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. And trust that when you do, you're going to create something amazing with the time you have left.